Hi, and welcome back to the Okeechobee Tasting Room, where we have a tiny kitchen and great big flavors. Today, we're doing smoked bratwurst. So let's start off with about a 10-pound pork loin, which doesn't have a lot of fat, but we're going to also add about an 8-pound Boston butt, which has about a 90-10 fat to meat ratio. So what we want to do is we want to dice this up in small cubes, enough to fit in the chute of our grinder. And so we just want to get it all chopped up. One thing you want to do is you always want to make sure that your meat is very cold. The reason for it being is you don't want all your fat to blend in with the meat. You don't want it to be emulsified. So you want to just chop it up, dice it up, chunk it up, whatever you want to call it, and it'll be ready to go into the grinder. So as we continue to cut our meat, you can find a decent sized pork loin or a Boston butt at just about any meat market. A lot of groceries carry it. I happen to have gotten mine at Sam's. I have good luck with the Sam's meat quality, and it freezes well and also has good flavor. Now, one thing with the Boston butt is it is bone in, so I've trimmed the bone out already. Now we're ready to run it through the grinder. We have our large plate in because we want Polish sausage to have a bigger grind of meat in it. So we're going to grind this all up. We've got about 18 pounds that we're doing, maybe a little bit less because we took that bone out of that butt. So we may be looking at about 16 pounds, which is quite a bit of Polish sausage. While we're grinding away, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Okeechobee Tasting Rooms. We have a small park model with an addition and small kitchen, but you know, we like to cook and wanted to share some of our recipes. Now, I know a lot of people don't want to do homemade sausages and things, but there may become a time when we have to. You know, if you can get a cut of meat and do something different with it, that's what I like to do. You know, I enjoy making homemade sausage because it really tastes good. Nothing like store-bought. So we're about to get this, we're going to move on ahead and finish up our grinding, and then we'll move on to stuffing the sausages. Now what we're using is a hog casing, a natural hog casing that I've got over in the sink soaking in water because they come packed in salt. And you don't want all that briny salt on there. So you rinse them pretty good. You soak them in water, and then rinse them out. What I do is I run the water through to create like a bubble of water, just to clean them out. And I make sure that I find that hole where the casing starts, because it's really a pain if you don't know where it is and you fumble around trying to put that on your stuffer. Another thing we want to talk about is sanitation and safety. We definitely have all of our surfaces sanitized. I use Lysol wipes on the counter, wash everything in hot soapy water, rinse it very well, make sure that my hands are clean and we're not cross-contaminating. because this sausage, the Polish sausage, is going to be cured. Yeah, we're gonna smoke it, but I'm also going to be adding curing salt and the spices and seasonings. So what it is after we smoke this, we don't necessarily have to put it up to store it. You can leave it out. I can leave it hanging out. I like to vacuum seal and keep it in the freezer. And when I get ready to take one out, well, you know, I live in South Florida. It thaws out pretty quick, and it's ready to go. But that's just a point of information. But I did want to talk about safety and sanitation. Okay, as we're getting closer to the end, we're actually adding the Boston butt in there now, and you can see there's quite a bit of fat. So what we're going to do is we will take this and make sure that the meat is all blended well together, so that the fat is evenly distributed. The fat in the sausage helps it to fry. If you don't have it, you've got to add some oil to cook it. So I've added the curing salts now with some water to help the salt dissolve. We'll blend that all around by hand pretty well, and make sure everything is blended well. All right, our next step is the seasoning. Now I use seasonings that I order from a company called High Mountain. High Mountain has the best seasonings for sausages, jerky, anything like that you want to do. A lot of preppers use this because it is the best. And it is available from Cabela's and Bass Pro. Now we're ready to start stuffing our sausages. So, as I said, let's find that initial hole, which is a pain because I let it slip off when I was rinsing these casings. So okay, we're ready to go, and if you'll watch my bratwurst video, it will give you an explanation on how to get the sausage stuffer started. You want to thread that casing all the way back on there. Make sure it's good and snug. That might be a little wet. Sometimes I put a towel or paper towel underneath to absorb the water. Something to wipe it up with, keep things sanitary. So we're ready to start stuffing these sausages now. So there's our towel to catch that extra water. So let's go ahead and start filling up the grinder attachment to stuff these sausages. Folks, my kitchen is a work in progress, so if you see things in the background that look like they're messy, things are clean. They're just in the process of being reorganized and working on the dining room and getting things more of the way that we think they're handier to use. So okay, sausage is getting ready to come out. There we go. Now we've got us our first bit of Polish sausage coming out of the stuffing tube. We're going to tie a little knot there at the end so that it doesn't come out. Okay, here we go. It's kind of a fun process, you know, doing these things. I've eaten Polish sausage all my life, and to make my own is really something that's you know, it's a lot of fun to eat something that you've made. you know, homemade is always better than store-bought. And yeah, I don't save any money doing this, but it is it's a labor of love. So there's our first sausage coming out, and excited about getting these done. Okay, our first sausage is done. Let's twist it off. We will be tying these, but since they're so long, they tend to stay in place pretty well. All right, we've got this underway. I'm not going to bore you with stuffing every one of these sausages, because 18 pounds of sausage really takes a while to stuff. But that's the gist of this process. What we're going to do next is I'm going to fire up the smoker. I'm going to set it on about 225 degrees and get ready to hang these sausages. I've got them all tied off. I've got them hung so that they're essentially not touching one another. These will smoke. I'm smoking them over mesquite wood, and I'll smoke them for about 6 hours. So here you go. They're getting almost complete. Some of them are perfect. Some of them that are a little closer to the heat are maybe a little overdone, but you know, they're good and solid. What I've done is, this is a 2-day process. So I chilled them in the refrigerator overnight. Okay, now our sausages are done. I've brought them in. They look real good. I'm ready to go on to the next step, which is after I get them out of the smoker, I want to soak them in cold water to stop that cooking process. Rinse them, dry them off real well, and there you go. There's our Polish sausage. You know, it may not be the prettiest, but it sure does taste good. There it is, vacuum sealed. Okay, we're ready to cook. We've cut up some onions and some peppers. We've got us about 2 pounds of Polish sausage. Got them in the wok, and boy, this does smell good. I cannot wait to taste this. There is our finished product. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please hit like and subscribe. Thanks.